For unless they see the sky, but they can, and that is why. They know not if it's dark outside or light. And now I know Spanish Harlem are not just pretty words to say. I thought I knew, but now I know that rose trees never grow in New York City. Subway's no way for a good man to go down. Rich man can ride, and the hobo he can drown. And I thank the Lord for the people I have found. I thank the Lord for the people I have found. While Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, sons of bankers, sons of lawyers, turn around and say good morning to the night. For unless they see the sky, but they can, and that is why. They know not if it's dark outside or light. They know not if it's dark outside or light.
You're listening to TFOK Radio. TFOK Radio, the station that rocks the TFOK nation.
And we're back on Shrink Different with Doc Wolf on TFOK Radio. That was Elton John, Mona Lisa's, and Mad Hatters. One of the best songs ever, but I am an Elton John fan. Doc, how you doing?
All right, it's good. I just talked about this guy who was deciding whether he wanted to give up his addiction to a woman. And that when she told him, and he was the nicest guy you could imagine. He was nice, he was loving, he was caring. He was doing everything he thought he could do to be the best guy he knew how to be. And then at some point, she cuts him off at the knees. Now, it's happened a bunch of times. And again, the question is for him to figure out what he does to make the pattern. But the issue I was talking about is you got to be willing to give it up. If you don't give up the relationship as it is, you maintain it. And so there's one of my favorite stories. It's called The Lizard in the Fire. And I heard it from a man named Michael Meade, who was very active in what was called the men's movement, probably still is, which appeared at the time that the women's movement started. Within 5 or 10 years, there was a men's movement. That's another discussion. So in The Lizard in the Fire is really a story about engagement, the process of being engaged to somebody. But it has something to do with this idea that you got to let something go. So in The Lizard in the Fire story, a man tells his son that if he sleeps with a maiden, he will die. When he does so, the youth does appear to die. Now, we could stop right there and say, what does that mean? Well, when a young man has sex, assuming you're developmentally ready for it, which is another thing about having sex too soon, when the boy has sex, the boy dies, and a man is born in some way. And so the father says to the son that you sleep with a maiden, you will die. And when he does so, the youth does appear to die. His parents do nothing but weep. But the maiden finds a hunter who lights a fire and places a lizard on the fire. And then he tells the people that the boy will remain dead if the lizard dies. but the boy will return to life if someone pulls the lizard from the fire. When the father tries, he fails, driven back by the flames. When the mother tries, she fails, driven back by the flames. Can't get to the lizard, but the maiden jumps right into the fire, pulls out the lizard, and brings it back alive. The youth, too, springs back to life. Then he faces a dilemma. According to the hunter, if the young man kills the lizard that the maiden saved, his mother will die. If he does not kill the lizard, the maiden will die. He must choose. What would you choose? Now, the idea in the story, this is an amazing story. The idea in the story, when you think of it specifically about engagement, can be interpreted in terms of the male's relationship to the mother versus the male's relationship to his new maiden, his wife. And that on some level, the relationship with the mother has to be given up in order for the relationship with the maiden to flourish. Now you could go the relationship of the maiden to her father. You can switch it very easily. Again, it's a wonderful story. Don't get hung up on whether it's a maiden or, the young guy. The idea with engagement is the relationship to the mother has to go in order to free the psyche of the man to have a full relationship with the woman. But you have to give something up. You can't fake it. The lizard is either going to be dead or alive. He has to choose. There are consequences of choosing and not choosing. And as a couples therapist, I can tell you that it's pretty frequent where you see in the pattern of the relationship that one or the other or both of the partners are holding on to that previous relationship with their parent of the opposite sex. So with this guy, this young man I spoke about yesterday, he has to be willing to feel the pain of the separation by ending the relationship with that woman. If he doesn't, I told him he's going to go through it again. And as someone who's been through cocaine addiction too many times to count, he knows the pain of holding on to the addictive pattern. But he's struggling. He's struggling because the connection that he gets is so sweet when it's happening that he's afraid that if he gives it up, he'll never feel it again. But the cost is he's going to go through the pain again. This is not a happy picture. Okay, so think about this story. Write in. There's a whole bunch of people right now talking on the bulletin board. I appreciate it. Thank you. Send in something. I'll send you a free e-copy of a book. Come on in. Join me with conversation. I enjoy the conversation. Ask a question. We can talk about Valentine's Day next week again. How was your Valentine's Day? Maybe with emotional intelligence, something shifted. Maybe this conversation, let me know. Let me know if the conversation we had about Valentine's Day is a day to honor the feelings of the love connections you have with people in your life. Just letting them know that your heart is there, that you feel deeply around them and who they are. So it's change time. We talked about change today too. Okay, pick something you want to change. First of all, go back to the breathing. Go back to the breathing. Become aware of your breath. Feel it in your belly. Put your hand on your belly so your thumb is on your navel. And breathe into the palm of your hand. And then feel the pressure of the breath pressing against the palm of your hand. And then imagine that you're really feeling one side of a balloon. And that, so in the same way that it presses forward, it presses back. And if you're really sensitive, you can feel it pressing against your back below your kidneys. So you're feeling this balloon. And so listen for the farthest sound and calm your brain. Let your mind just go for a minute. But you're focusing your attention, remember. This is an exercise to focus your attention. Let the mind go. Thoughts are like clouds. Think of something that you'd like to change in your life. Something you'd like to do this week. Something you'd like to do for yourself. Maybe you'd like to change a particular behavior that you are doing. Maybe you want to learn something. If this is about Valentine's Day, maybe there's somebody you want to reach out to. Think about someone that you want to reach out to because you have feelings about her or him. And if you have resistance, think about just sending them an email or making a phone call or making a text. Think about one person that you could reach out to. I think we'll stick with that this week. Now, for a moment, visualize yourself doing it, even though you may have resistance, you see. The feeling may be you have resistance to doing it. That's the best person to check out with. The feeling that you have resistance is something that you can overcome by realizing you have resistance because of unexpressed and unresolved feelings. But if you really want to reach out, go for it. It's Valentine's Day. Okie doke. I've enjoyed being here with you. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday, hearing you next Monday, President's Day. And let me know if anything that we talked about tonight had any impact for you on Valentine's Day. Take care. Fare thee well. Bye-bye.
That's right. You've been on Shrink Different with Doc Wolf on TFOK Radio. Join us again next week at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great week.
You're listening to TFOK Radio. TFOK Radio, the station that rocks the TFOK nation.